Hello, and welcome to Your United Way, a show all about how Your United Way is positively impacting Paducah and McCracken County. My name is Monique Zuber, and I'm the Executive Director at the United Way, and I'm also the host for your show today. And we have two guests with us today, and we're going to share about an exciting event that's upcoming. But first, let's start off by letting them introduce themselves.
I'm Amy Roof with the Paducah River City Chapter of Business and Professional Women.
And I'm Betsy Burkeen, the Resource Development Manager at the United Way of Paducah, McCracken County.
Wonderful. And Betsy is also a member of the Business and Professional Women's Group, which we also call BPW for short.
Yes.
If you guys would, if one of you would share, how did the relationship between the United Way and BPW kind of come together?
I can speak to that. I have been a BPW member for quite a while now, probably, yes, before I even started at the United Way, and I've been at the United Way for 3 years. I'm now the West Region Director of Business and Professional Women. So it's an organization that I felt very passionate about and just kind of have built that relationship a little bit with the United Way as well, and then it evolved into to this event that we're very excited to tell you about today.
All right, and Amy, are you currently an officer with BPW? You were?
No, I'm a former president last year, and then I'm co-chair of the Power of the Purse Committee.
Okay, well, that's what we're here to talk about today is our Power of the Purse event, which will benefit BPW and the United Way. So if you guys could kind of share what is the Power of the Purse? Why are we having this event?
Well, I'll speak to that. First and foremost, the Power of the Purse is meant to empower our local women in the workplace. And it kind of evolved because, well, from a United Way standpoint, we were looking to have another fundraising type event. But one thing that we noticed was reoccurring was that we were going back to the same donors and asking for more volunteers and more financial support over and over again. And the reality of the matter is it wasn't a fair ask to our donors, and really it wasn't helping with awareness of the United Way. We need to really expand our horizons as far as how many people know about the United Way and what we do. So I called Amy, she was the president of Business and Professional Women at the time, and said, you know, there's this event that other United Ways have called Power of the Purse. And I think that it would, work very well with the Business and Professional Women organization. And then she mentioned that Women's Equal Pay Day was coming up right about the time that we were thinking of having another event. So, and she can talk a little about that.
Yeah, so Betsy was talking about getting into our group and exposing the United Way to our group, and also doing a fundraiser. And we do only one other fundraiser throughout the year. We're not a huge fundraising organization, but we do have a need to further develop our programs as well. And the United Way gives back to so many organizations that help women. That's a great partner to have for us, because we do try to funnel our priorities to organizations that help women. So we talked about Equal Pay Day, and it happened to come up because we were talking about, should we do something derby, should we do something in spring? And I said, well, we need to be doing something for Equal Pay Day. Why don't we do that? And she said, well, there's a Power of the Purse event already happening. I was like, that sounds just like what would work for us. So Equal Pay Day is just the symbolic day in April that we kind of recognize that there is still a gap and room for women to improve in the workplace, whether it be promotions, education, wage disparity. There's still a lot of room to go, and a lot of ways that we can do that just by helping each other and lifting up each other. So we got together and brainstormed about what we would really want this to be and what the mission should be for the event, and we threw it together, and it became an instant success. It was very high demand, and people that neither one of our groups had seen before were interested in this, and lines out the door sold out in record time. I mean, it was a great thing.
It was. 216 people attended first year event. Like she said, the line was out the door to get in. And the greatest thing from a United Way standpoint for me was that over the majority, and Monique, you remember this as well, we looked around the room and we didn't recognize a lot. So it was a whole new group of people that we had the opportunity to meet, to bring awareness to this very important subject and day, and also to the United Way.
Well, and I really like the fact that it gives the United Way an opportunity to be an advocate and BPW as well, which is a huge part of both of our organizations, is advocating for women and for equal pay. And one of United Way's focus areas is income, and so really bringing attention to that wage disparity was important to both organizations. So just being that advocate was really cool for me from that standpoint too.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, can you guys share with us a little bit about this year's event? What's the day? What's the format look like?
It's going to be on April 12th at 11:30 a.m. One thing that we haven't really touched on yet that we have at the Power of the Purse that's one of the most exciting things is that we have a silent purse auction. And the cool thing about that, to play off the Power of the Purse theme, when you bid on a purse at Power of the Purse event, you are not allowed to open that purse. We'll have pictures of it so you can kind of see what the inside looks like, because we know that's important to us
That is
ladies. We like to
important.
know where the pockets are and how much space is in there. But you can't look in them for actually open them up, because a lot of times always, every purse will have giveaways inside of the purse that won't be revealed until the winner actually wins that purse, or the bidder wins that purse. The cool thing about that is a lot of times the giveaways on the inside have a greater value than even the purse themselves. So we had extremely nice purses last year, 19 to be exact, but then off the top of my head I can think of a 2-night, 2-condo Green Turtle Bay stay that was donated by Green Turtle Bay. Thank you, Green Turtle Bay. But that was actually in one of the purses, or gift certificates to restaurants. Can you think of anything?
Hair and spa packages, jewelry, money. There was just flat out cash in some of the purses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you might bid on a Michael Kors purse, and I guarantee you're probably not paying more than the retail because it was donated. But inside of that's an added value that you don't know about. So it's like a surprise at the end and kind of an extra bonus, and adds a lot of excitement to it. So the layout of the event is we'll come in, we'll have lunch, register, buy a raffle. If you want to buy a raffle, look at the purses. We'll have a speaker, and then we'll do the purse auction and wrap that up and give away all the purses that people had bid on.
There's a raffle too. One of the raffle purse last year wasn't Michael. Was it a Kate Spade?
This year it's Kate Spade.
Okay, this year it's a Kate Spade. And last year, was it $50 that was stuffed inside the purse? Yeah, so that was super exciting to just pull out all that cash. The speaker we're very excited about this year. The only woman governor of Kentucky in history, Martha Lane Collins, will be our speaker at Power of the Purse this year, so we're excited about that.
Well, that's great. It sounds like it's going to be a great event. Can you guys tell us how much tickets are, where you can buy tickets?
They are $45 for individual tickets. There's still sponsorships available, so if you're interested in a sponsorship, we can definitely get you more information on that. And how you find out information or purchase a ticket is by calling the United Way at 270-442-1691, or you can email Susan at unitedwaypaducah.org. Susan Gibson is our office manager at the United Way. She's fabulous. You'll love talking to her.
And if you would like to check out the event on Facebook, it is on Paducah River City Business and Professional Women's page, and the event is there, and like and share and ask questions if you have them, and all of that.
Well, that's great. And what's really exciting, what I want the public really to know as well, is once the event is done, any of the proceeds that we have, we'll split it between the United Way and BPW, and it'll be put right back into the community to be able to help people with income from the United Way standpoint. And BPW also just supporting women in business, again, to combat that equal pay opportunity. So is there any additional information you all would like to share about Equal Pay Day or the event? Any other?
Let's see. On Equal Pay Day, we do use that day as a symbolic day, but the thing that we really like to do most is it's just women encouraging women, building each other up. The Business and Professional Women mission is to help build up women through advocacy, information, and education. So we have professional development programs, and to us this is kind of one of them, because you're getting a motivational speech from a prominent woman in the community, as well as networking. So there's a lot going on there that benefits women and could help increase the confidence for a woman to negotiate their salary, or go for that extra degree, or ask for that promotion, or something that they might not have thought they could do but by hearing another woman's story, they might be motivated to do that.
And so when we have Power of the Purse, it would be a great time for people to be able to plug in to BPW and possibly become a
Right.
member and learn about the United Way
Yeah.
and how they can have connections and, like you said, build that support system of women on such an important day for us.
That's right.
Or don't forget, you can always call the United Way for that purpose too. I'm a member. I would love to take
Yeah.
anyone as my guest to any monthly meeting. It's always a good time to take new people and expose them to that as well. And also keep in mind that we are expecting a sellout event for Power of the Purse. So the sooner you
point.
can call, the better.
Yep. So if you want to be a sponsor or get tickets, you really need to get in early to
All
do
right,
that.
and remind everybody of that date again. What's our event
April
date?
12th.
April 12th.
It's a Tuesday.
Okay, well, thank you, Amy and Betsy, for being with us here today on the Your United Way show. And we'll be right back with another guest in a moment. Hello, welcome back to Your United Way. My name is Monique Zuber, and I'm the Executive Director at the United Way here in Paducah, and I'm also your host for today's show. We wrapped up our first segment by talking about Power of the Purse, and now we have a new guest joining us today. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, if you would just share your name and what organization that you're here representing today.
Sure. I'm Executive Director at Midtown Alliance of Neighbors.
Well, wonderful. And Midtown Alliance of Neighbors is a partner agency of the United Way. We're very proud to say that. So if you would, Sharon, just give a brief overview of Midtown Alliance. How did you guys get started and how are you where you're at today?
Yeah, I'd love to give you some background. You know, it's funny how we wind up coming down a road that we didn't anticipate coming down.
Absolutely.
But the organization actually began back in 2007, really as an outgrowth of the city's revitalization program for the Fountain Avenue neighborhood. And the city recognized, there were folks in the neighborhood who recognized that there were folks there that could use some help. They were able to take care of their monthly bills and that kind of thing, but to do significant rehabs to their homes, to really make big improvements, was not something that they were financially able to do.
Sure.
And so the city actually partnered with David West, who was then pastor at Margaret Hank Cumberland Presbyterian, and they began an alliance in the neighborhood. I actually began talking with David in the fall of 2007, and it happened that David took a pastorate somewhere else later that fall, and before he left, he said, "Please make sure that this continues." And so that's really what I did with the help of some other dedicated folks in the neighborhood. We created a 501c3 nonprofit, and really came from a all-volunteer agency. I'm now executive director. It is a full-time position now, and that took some work to get there. But it's been such a blessing to get to know people, not only in the Fountain Avenue neighborhood, but across the community as we've expanded some of our programs.
Sure. And you said you're the director now, so can you tell us, is there anybody else that works for you all, or what's your structure look like?
Sure. For the last 5 years, we've actually had folks from AmeriCorps working with us. And I don't know I know you're familiar with AmeriCorps.
Sure.
I don't know about some of the folks that will be watching. The way I always explain it is that AmeriCorps is sort of like the domestic Peace Corps. Rather than going to a foreign country and giving a year of their lives, they're folks who stay right here
Right.
in the U.S. and commit a year of service to doing something in their community. And there are a lot of different programs across the country that meet a lot of different needs. Everything from parks and taking care of things, elderly, kids. And we actually work with the Housing and Homeless Coalition of Kentucky, which is a statewide agency that has a AmeriCorps program. And they partner with about 30 agencies across the state to provide housing kinds of needs. And we're one of the agencies here in Paducah, and we've had 1 or 2 AmeriCorps members working with us for the last 5 years. And without the AmeriCorps service that they provide, we simply couldn't do any of the programs that we provide.
Sure, and it really helps lower your cost in paying a full-time person and things like that. If you go through AmeriCorps, it's a little bit more cost-effective. And so I know it makes your dollar at Midtown Alliance of Neighbors go further. And I always like to point that out for donors to know that you're using the dollars the best to your ability.
Yeah.
So can you share about your United Way funded program? What program does the United Way help support?
Sure. The program that United Way helps fund is Repair Fair. That is probably our longest running program. In fact, it goes back to the very first days in Fountain Avenue when we were volunteering, just getting started. And I knew that there were folks in the neighborhood that needed some help with their homes. And so I remembered that there had been a Christmas in April program, and I started calling. In fact, I think I called United Way.
Yes.
I started calling around and saying, is there still Christmas in April going on? I'd like to get some folks some help, and found out really that Christmas in April had gone dormant. The folks who had, and I know what hard work that they had put in,
Absolutely.
really had moved on, and nobody was providing that kind of service here in Paducah. And about the same time, we went to Kentucky Housing Corporation, a conference there, and discovered that they had a funding pool to help provide some funding for materials. And so we said, let's start a program that'll sort of take the place of Christmas in April. And thus we began back in 2008 with a Repair Fair. In the last, this will be our 8th year, we've served 125 families across Paducah. We began the first year or two in the Fountain Avenue neighborhood. It was a nice way to get to know folks in that neighborhood. And then we sort of expanded out from there. We've done a little bit of everything in the last 7 years. A lot of exterior painting, roof repairs, handrails and sidewalks and safety ramps. A surprising number of bathroom floors that you think, how are these people actually? How are they living in these places? Heat and air repairs, some minor electrical and plumbing kinds of things. We usually do a couple, 3 big projects a year that are exterior painting that take a lot of volunteers and a lot of manpower. But then we have other projects that really require fewer people but more skill.
Sure.
And so we have been really fortunate to have assistance from Paducah Lifeline Ministries. They'll send their guys out to help. Have some great churches in the community that come out and do days of service, and other individuals who really are inspired by a variety of things in their lives, but tradesmen who will come out and spend time if they have it. And it really, all we do is coordinate the program.
Right.
We help to identify the homeowners who are in need. We help to make sure that they are homeowners and they're income qualified. And then it's just a matter of lining up the right volunteers to come and do that work. But none of it would happen if it weren't for other people in the community, both those who are donating their time and those who are donating funding that helps to provide the funding for the program.
Right, and volunteering is really how Midtown Alliance and the United Way started our relationship. Was the United Way Volunteer Day Project United. I needed projects, and so I contacted you with Midtown Alliance and said, we've got skilled workers, do you have a place to put them? And so that was exciting for me to see the relationship between our two agencies evolve. From providing just volunteers, and then now we're able to provide some funding to you all as well to get some of that work done. So it's been really exciting for us at the United Way. What does it mean to your organization to be a United Way partner agency?
I really think it's sort of a coming of age kind of thing. It's sort of a proof that we're running the program the way that it should be run. I mean, United Way does a great job of vetting a lot of programs that meet the 3 different main service criteria. And to be one of those organizations really sort of says that we're providing a need and we're doing it in a responsible way. And there really aren't very many other agencies that are doing housing kind of need. I know Richard Myrick over at Paducah-McCracken County Senior Center has a great program over there. But in terms of size of project, sometimes there are limitations about what Richard can do. And so it's nice that we're able to come in and sort of be a supplement to that.
Right, and work together in that way. That's really
And I would say
important.
too that, and I've seen just in the last year as we've been functioning as a partner agency, that it's been nice to get emails so that, there's a need here, and then we'll have clients who we're serving a housing need, but it becomes clear that they have another need.
Right.
And so it's nice to sort of have a little bit more of a handle on what those other resources are in the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you tell our viewers today if there's someone who might need assistance and they think they might qualify for services from Midtown Alliance, what would that look like? Do they need to call, or what does that kind of look like for you?
This is actually a great time of year to be asking that question because early February is when we're sort of getting together things for our upcoming service year. For 2016, we just have our application filled out and prepared. We'll be distributing that to a variety of service agencies around the community. So those can be picked up if any of the watch viewers happen to have a connection with those service agencies.
Sure.
They can be picked up there. We also have a website. It is KY Midtown Alliance, and if you just Google Midtown Alliance, you'll find the application on our website. I'll be glad to give you my phone number. Also, Kenesha Parrish, who works with us, she's the AmeriCorps service member who coordinates the program. Be glad to get those phone numbers out there so people can call directly. And of course, if they call the United Way number in the phone book, you know exactly how to get in touch with us.
We do. Can you share with us, Sharon, some examples of projects that you all have done in the past?
Sure. This past year, we assisted 31 families, and with a variety of different kinds of work. We did 7 roof repairs. You really can't replace a whole roof with
Sure.
repair fare. We learned that early on before we learned exactly what the limits are with what you can do with volunteers. We do usually try to make the project size in terms of material amounts. Most projects are between $1,000 and $1,500, which really can go a long way toward a lot of projects. And so this past year we did 7 roof replacements. We did a variety of exterior carpentry things, replacements of rotten rails and porch posts, handicap ramps that were in bad shape, stairs, a lot of interior repairs to drywall from where roofs had been leaking,
Right.
some plumbing work, just you name it and we've done it.
Right. Well, and something that's so important to the United Way that you all provide these services, it really helps them. It does fall under our income focus area because it allows them not to fall into a crisis situation where they can't pay bills or they can't purchase food. If you're able to step in and help them with that, then they're able to stay in their home and they don't come into that crisis situation.
You're exactly right. And I'm in such a fortunate position where I am because this past year we worked with more than 400 volunteers, more than 3,000 hours spent. And those folks don't have a chance. They get to meet the individual homeowner, but they don't get to see the panorama of
Sure.
what happens. And people are so thankful. It makes
Right.
such a difference in people's lives.
It does. Can you tell us where your office is located? Where do you guys or where are you all housed?
We are housed, and this is actually another way to pick up an application. We're, once again, always stretching the budget dollar as far as we can.
Right.
But Fountain Avenue United Methodist Church, which is at 300 Fountain Avenue, has been kind enough to donate office space since the organization's inception. And Sue Wills, who is the secretary at the church there, is just a lovely person. She's in the office Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. She'll have a copy of the application if anybody wants to stop by the church and pick that up. We are often not in our office. We're
Sure,
often
you're
out in the field doing
That's
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. But she's there to kind of help field things for you. Well, that is wonderful. Well, we're very excited that you were able to share about Midtown Alliance of Neighbors today. We're proud that you're a United Way partner agency. Are there any additional information or background information that you'd like our viewers to know about today? Anything we didn't hit on?
I would like to sort of it's hard to begin thanking folks in the community, not just folks who donate their time, but folks who donate funding as well.
Right.
I think I mentioned that early on when we first began the program that Kentucky Housing Corporation had a program where they provided funding. They actually did some restructuring several years ago, and we had to come back to the community to find funding for the Repair Fair program, for the materials that make this thing work. And so we accept donations both of time and money. I will say that the Carson Meyer Foundation has been a wonderful supporting partner for the last 3 years, but we can always use more funding. The more we have, the more folks we can help.
Absolutely. Well, Sharon, thank you so much for being here with us today. We're excited to be a supporter of Midtown Alliance of Neighbors, and we're excited to see what the future has for you all as well.
Well, thank you, Monique.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching Your United Way show today. We appreciate all of your support and on behalf of all of our partner agencies.